right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Fantastic Duo Show. We are live once again on a beautiful Thursday, might I add. I want to welcome everybody who's in the chat and everybody who's listening or watching or whatever right back here to the show. Of course, I'm here with the one and only Steve Cardenas. What's up, Steve?
Hey, guys. How's it going? Welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Steve is hyped. Steve is ready to rock and roll today, guys. I'm telling you. Listen, earlier today we just put together a whole show listing, which is right here in my hand, and we're just gonna go full steam ahead.
Yeah, we don't have a guest today, so we're gonna talk about random shit, you know?
Yeah. In a very straightforward way, where you guys are gonna think, wow, these guys really have it together.
Yeah. For now, anyway. We'll see how quickly it falls apart.
For sure. Thank you guys once again for being on here. If you can kindly share and host the channel, that'd be great for us. So, that's one of the things that would really make the channel grow. Share it on all your social networks and whatnot. So, first things off, man. Steve, how's your week been, man? What you been up to?
Pretty good. We've been, I've been doing like some of these, because I think Comic-Cons have been like basically non-existent, so we've been finding ways to do like, panels for, different comic events. They're starting to do virtual panels and things. So I've been doing a few of those. They should probably be on the lookout for some of those coming out pretty soon. And, things like Cameo and Rave VIP. If you guys haven't heard about those, it's ways that you can do face-to-face one-on-one chats or shout-outs from celebrities. So, I don't know why you'd put me on that list. Essentially, I'm not what you'd call like a celebrity per se, but like maybe a pseudo-celebrity or whatever. But, doing the shout-outs for the fans and things like that. So just some more ways to connect, because like I said, it's all about having that connection. When everybody's like so closed off to the world, we gotta find ways to connect one another the way we used to. So these are a couple things that I've been doing. Those keep my week somewhat busy anyway. Just kind of like interacting with the fans on some different levels.
Yeah, and one of the things that people are asking already, by the way, if you're listening to the podcast later on, you can join us every single Tuesday and Thursday live on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern time and, be part of the conversation here with us. And one of the things that they're asking is, first of all, you have to be hyped because last time you froze and went away.
Yeah, well, thankfully, my interwebs are working. I went up on the roof of the house and I fixed the wires. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea how any of that works, but yeah, right at the end of the show, thankfully at the end of the show last week, with the last like 2 minutes left in the show, my internet crapped out and I essentially got kicked off the whole network.
Well, let's be honest here. Somebody picked up the phone. That's what happened. We're talking
somebody picked up the
AOL
phone.
Days,
Right. Line. Oh, yeah. Because I'm hooked up to a dial-up modem. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea what it was. It must have been something that was going on in my area.
Yeah. I mean,
bad reception.
The joke going around was as soon as you left was since you took over for Austin when he left Power Rangers. Well, you left the show. He took over for you on the Fantastic Duo show.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, that actually would be good. We need to start having some other guest hosts in here as well.
That'd be cool.
Rather than just interviewing them, we need to have them in as hosts and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so apologies for getting kicked off the network, guys. But thank you for coming back again this time around, and also thank you to Austin, who
held it down
in the week for coming in and hanging out and telling us all his cool stories and all the stuff he's got going on. That's always cool, and we're always gonna try to give you guys as much as we can here on the show. For your entertainment.
Yeah, sure. And another thing that they were talking about is, they wanted to ask where can they get the order before we even get into the show. They want to know the order. Where can they get it at?
The order, meaning like the movie that we're working on. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So for those of you that don't know about it, there's a movie that Karen Ashley has written along with David Fielding, who plays Zordon, who was Zordon on our series. They've put together a script for a really cool either movie or series called The Order. And essentially what it is like post-apocalyptic type, situation where there's two factions that are, kind of civil warring against each other. And, so it's all set in this like I said, dystopian type, atmosphere, and it's futuristic, but also kind of dark and run down. So, we a couple years ago shot a trailer for it to try to entice people to get with it, and we had gotten the funding that we needed to get it started and all that stuff. But then there was some kind of union issues that we had run into, and so we had to put the production on hold for a while. And then it started evolving. They turned it into a book, and then from there we're trying to turn it into maybe a series, which personally I think is probably better, is to do it in a series. But it all comes down to everyone's availability. But the hook was that it was going to be all the Rangers, all of us that know each other, that from the con circuit and everything like that. We all were going to, so different Rangers from all the different seasons were all coming together to do this project. So you would get a lot of Rangers, but not in any kind of Ranger characters. We're not reprising any roles or anything like that. It has nothing to do with Power Rangers. It's a completely different thing, but it's just a lot of familiar faces for all the fans out there. So that is something that's in the works, but I have no idea, because it's taken so many different turns since we got production production put on hold. So I have no idea. In other words, that was the long-winded answer of no.
Right. No, but
there you go.
And there is a trailer, correct? Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
in the chat
there
room.
is
Yep.
a trailer. I think if you were just to go on YouTube and just click The Order or whatever, you could watch this trailer. Seems, I think it's still out there.
Perfect.
So you get an idea of what we were trying to go for.
There you go, guys. He pretty much laid it out for you. So really quickly, to continue talking about what's been going on. Today in the UK, Austin was part of the Beast Morphers episode. It was all over the web. Everybody's been sharing it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it came out today.
Yeah,
okay.
so
Okay,
for anybody out there, to kind of like wrap up, Tuesday's show, and what we were talking about with Austin is that he did mention the fact that he was going to be a guest on the show, and today, in the UK, the show was put on, and people were just grabbing footage from it. And
did you get to see any of this stuff? Because I had to.
I did.
I didn't. Okay, cool. How does it seem?
It's pretty cool to see. They brought back
Of course.
Goldar.
Look at you. You're like a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course, you're gonna think it's cool. I don't know. But yeah, of course, anything they bring Austin back for is gonna.
It wasn't cheesy.
Some airplay. It wasn't
Right?
cheesy. Okay.
Right.
Good.
Right. So it wasn't cheesy, and it didn't feel forced. A lot of reunion episodes sometimes feels like they're just doing it for the sake
Very
of
contrived.
Yeah, and for the sake of grabbing that the viewer.
Right.
So that you can get a pop for it. But this time it just felt natural. You had they're setting it up for the next season. So it's it's pretty cool. So that basically wraps up his time there. And if you guys watched the show last week and if you heard it on the podcast as well, he did mention that he's working on something. So we never know where that's gonna go.
Right.
But anyway,
I'm hoping. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off, but I'm hoping
you did.
like in the future things because it seems like what they should do is they should make this a thing where every year they're going to bring back somebody from a different series, to kind of tie in a story. Because now, as we all know, the Power Rangers is an actual multiverse. Before it was like nothing seemed canon because they all seemed like they were all just different stories, and the only common denominator was the word Power Rangers and the multicolored suits, but now it's like, it's been interwoven now that, that there's an actual multiverse, and these are all happening simultaneous, so to speak, types of
events,
storylines or timelines or whatever. Yeah. And then we've, like we did in the Dimensions in Danger one, we found a way to weave those dimensions together or whatever, and bring, different people from different universes to come together to help defeat a particularly tough beast or monster or alien or creature or whatever. And that was the thread with Dimensions in Danger. Now, I don't know what they did with Beast Morphers. I guess they brought some of the Dino people back in a sense and teamed them up.
Yeah. And I think it was a lot of people in the chat saying that the Sentai version was amazing too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think what's ending up here is just the fact that like you mentioned, they went the route of like Marvel and DC, where the multiverse really helps. You're able to just bring anything you want back into the forefront.
Right. Yeah. Which I think is cool. Especially for those people that are fans of like, Marvel or DC, and they like everything in that universe. It's always cool when they do a mashup and bring everybody together. Like an Avengers type thing or Justice League or whatever. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that. I think it's important, just for the fans to have different material.
And for the longevity of it, right? The more it transforms and the more it evolves, you have another 30 years worth of Power Rangers, because you'll be able to just.
Yeah, well, Boom is definitely, taking it in directions that, maybe the show is limited in and can't necessarily go, because they're, kind of hindered by the parameters of the goody two-shoes part of it, and it's geared toward 3 and 5 year olds, and so they have to keep it a little bit more simple. But for the older fans, the Boom comics have definitely made it so that you can get a little bit darker with stuff, you know what I mean? And you can take a lot of those things that the show couldn't touch on and bring those into those graphic novels. So hats off to Boom. I love Boom. I've always loved them for what they're doing to help keep the fans' imagination alive.
Yeah, and you know what? We're going to get into a little bit more about Boom as well. But right now, man, I want to bring up a brand new segment here we're going to be doing on Thursdays with Steve, and if anybody else joins us, called What's Hot Right Now, And one of the things that, that I was talking to Steve about earlier that's really, like, taking, up and off is the Zack Snyder Justice League cut that's coming out. And supposedly this thing costs millions of dollars to even bring back. HBO Max is going to be putting it out sometime, I don't know, by the end of the year or next year. And it's crazy to me that many people demanded that his version of the movie come out. And Steve, did you watch Justice League?
Yeah, I did watch Justice League, and actually I have some kind of like a long extended cut. Like I watched it on Vudu. I don't know if you guys have Vudu or not, but it's another one of those things like Netflix or Hulu or whatever. But I have it. I own it. It's like an extended cut. Is that the same thing that you're talking about?
No, that was just an extended cut. They're actually coming out now with even more footage that they didn't let publicly come out.
It's going to be like 4 hours long.
Yeah, literally. It's
Wow.
So yeah, Slinky Quest on the chat said it's $250 million worth of footage, like more, to make this come back out. And HBO's paying it so people can watch it on their streaming network called HBO Max.
Right. Wow. Good Lord. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to probably lose half my followers when I say this, but I am a DC fan. Like I
really,
everybody's like, "What is it, DC or Marvel?" I'm DC. My hero was Superman. Like as a kid, I used to dress up like Superman. Like I was obsessed with it. Now, I mean, when I say obsessed, I mean like really obsessed. Like I used to have this blue sweatsuit.
Wow.
I used to have this blue sweatsuit. Right, it was like a little sweater top and a blue sweatpants. And I used to take my underoos. For those of you that grew up in the 80s, then you know what I'm talking about. Underoos were the, superhero underwear that you could wear. So they had Superman ones that were red with a gold elastic waistband. And I used to pull those over the blue sweats so that you could see the red tights, the red tights around the blue tights. And then I used to put my sister's big red socks on. I pulled them. I tucked the sweat inside the ankles of those, so I had these big, long sweat things. And then I had like a cloth. My mom had this down in her sewing room. She had this red terry cloth. So I cut me out a cape, and I essentially sewed it into the lining of the inside of the sweater. Wow. And I cut a little S, and then I threaded and needled it myself, the S on the back of the cape, and I did one on the chest as well. So, I got elaborate with it, elaborate. So, I don't know. I'll have to try to look around for a picture of it. I know it's got to be somewhere in the universe out there. But I used to take Vaseline and put it in my hair to get the Superman curl in there. Full on. And I would wear this thing out, people. I was so proud of the job that I did with this Superman outfit. I would wear it to the grocery store and embarrass my older brothers and my mom. So that was funny. And then we used to have this deck in the back of our house that was on the second story. So there was 2-story house. There was a second story deck that went out from the kitchen and to the outside. But if you just hopped over the railing, you could get onto the roof of the garage. And so we had this crappy old mattress that I used to throw down there at the bottom of the garage, and we used to jump off the first floor roof and land on that garage on that mattress. And I would do that over and over and over and over again because I've always been obsessed with Superman, and that was kind of one of the things that never really went away for me. Just like some of the people that loved Power Rangers growing up, and they watched it all the time. Anytime any kind of show about Superman came out or video or anything, I always okay, I'm gonna watch it. I just loved the story of Superman. I thought he was so cool, and so that was my jam basically. So I've always been a DC fan, but I love Batman as well too.
So what's stopping you now from doing something with them? Why don't a lot of people are mentioning, man, you'd make an amazing Nightwing.
Nightwing's young, man. I'm 46 years old, guys. Man. You know what I mean? I can't be that young thing. You know what I mean? I'm barely old enough to be Bruce Wayne now. You know what I mean? But I don't have that star power to do one of those kinds of things. You know what I mean? I think I would need to pay my dues a bit more before I could be, before I could be a part of one of those franchises. But you picturing me, and you keep thinking of me as this young 20-year-old kid from 20 years ago, but it's not. You know what I mean? So you got to look at it and be realistic. Why would I be Nightwing? You know what I mean? I was hold on, let me get out of my wheelchair. Okay, and now I'm gonna rappel off this building. Okay, yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Have you ever thought of maybe trying out for any of the DC Universe characters on television? Is it hard to get into that? You've been in the business, so is it something that?
Yeah, it's not as easy as you think. For those of you guys who have been following our show or listening to, heard how I got on Power Rangers. It was a fluke thing, This was not a profession that I had aspirations to get into, And how I got on the show is not normally how people get onto this, you know what I mean? So had I not gone to that one audition and got that audition on that first try, this is not something that I think I would have pursued, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have pursued me saying, oh, this is my passion. I want to get into movies and be in movies and stuff like that. Everybody always thinks, oh, that'd be cool to be in a movie, or whatever. But it wasn't like I was going to do the things that you had to do because I was, living in Texas. It's not like they had agents necessarily in Texas. I was nowhere near Hollywood or anything like that. So when this fluke, audition came through and rolled into town, I went to it, and by pure luck, I got it, And so yeah, I mean, it's not easy is my point. My point is it's not easy to get in and break into this world. I mean, sometimes things might come, a little in more indirectly. There's a lot more famous people now because of like the internet and social media and things like that have made people that probably would not ever get into that realm or have a harder time breaking into that realm has made some people be famous. There's a lot of famous internet people, and that's fine. I mean, God bless them. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But when it comes to breaking into that world of Hollywood and getting into that small club, it's very hard to do. And even after I left the show, it was hard to get in, so even with all that experience under my belt, Power Rangers back then was not, even though it was the #1 kid show and it was popular and all that stuff like that, it had a stigma in Hollywood, because it was a campy show, because it was a cheesy show, because of the production quality was so poor. All those things that we realize now was part of its charm is something that Hollywood did not like at all. You know what I mean? They wanted everything to be like pristine production and they wanted like, the top rate like acting, and they wanted to get big names and be on their shows and things like that. So, they weren't like saying, "Oh, let's look for a nobody," and that was on a crappy show, and let's let's bring him. So it was hard after that to get auditions and things like that. It was hard to get your foot in the door back then after I left Rangers. So
wow,
so I just I was already in a spot where I was like, I don't really have a lot of aspirations to be doing this anyway. I've got my martial arts studios. Those are starting to take off. I'm starting to make something happen with that. This is more my wheelhouse anyway. And so I kind of left acting and went away from it a little bit. And so much so that, for the longest time, I didn't even hear anything about Power Rangers for a long time until I started doing these conventions again. And, I started like embracing that part of my life again,
No, yeah, for sure. And we see it, we kind of understand obviously the way you're seeing it because you're living it. You thought it was a fluke, but a lot of people said, fluke or not, they're glad that you got the role because you nailed it.
Well, thank you for that, and I appreciate that, and I'm thankful for it too. I mean, because my life is forever going to be different, as a result, and because I was on that show. No matter what, I'm forever a part of pop culture, and I'm not saying that in a bragging way or anything.
No,
like
you're
that,
not, right?
But it's pretty effing cool, So I'm always happy about that and grateful for that, and that's cool. And I'm going to try to find all the ways that I can to take advantage of that and find ways to give back because of that, and so on and so forth. So. That's cool, but I feel like we went off on a big tangent. Though,
we did, but you know what? That's part of.
How did we get from DC to talking about?
let me tell you why. Because the people in the chat wanted to know, man, and they wanted to express their thoughts and opinions, and that's what we're here for. That's what we give them.
I do appreciate that. Thank you.
For sure.
And yeah, it is cool, and I'm always grateful for you.
So that leaves us to continue here with what's hot right now. You hit the nail on the head where I was going. You obviously know Dark Seed or Dark Side. How do you say it, Steve? Because I don't know my DC characters like that. The mega boss of DC. I think it's Dark Seed if I'm not. So he's kind of like the Thanos of the DC characters. So
I thought it was Dark Side, but I could be
100% wrong.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm sure everyone here on Twitch is going to correct you. I'm sure.
100%. Do you think, in your opinion, that boss, that mega character, could overpower what Marvel did with Thanos in the movie?
Okay, now, like I said, to my point earlier, like I am a DC fan. You know what I mean? And when it comes to like the characters themselves, I'm more partial to Batman and Superman.
Right.
But that being said, and as cool as Zack Snyder's vision was and all that stuff like that, for whatever reason, there's elements that are missing. You know what I mean? In my opinion, in the DC universe, there's elements that are missing, and it's not like they're skimping on anything. The production value is high. The special effects are amazing, but whatever it is, Marvel seems to have that, cohesion seems to be stronger in the Marvel movies than they do in the DC movies, and I don't know what that is. I mean, I don't know. But when I watch one or the other, I find the Marvel movies more entertaining.
Right.
Even though I'm a fan of the DC characters.
Right.
And I don't even know if that's necessarily part of it. Like maybe I'm more of a fan of the DC characters, so I'm disappointed with the direction they took it or whatever. No, I don't really necessarily think so. But because quite honestly, I mean, I liked Henry Cavill as Superman, and I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. In my opinion, actually, the Batmobile that Ben Affleck drove and the costume and Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, in my opinion, were
badass.
Was like my favorite one. You know what I mean? I thought it was like the smartest one, because it was somewhat subtle, which I liked.
Well, then you know what?
So Marvel does it better for some reason. There's something more visually interesting. There's something more, I don't know. That just seemed more. I think that there was more character in the characters. DC, like, I mean, maybe everybody in DC is always like so serious. I mean, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, he was kind of funny, and Flash was kind of funny. But you think about it, Tony Stark. I mean, his character and the way that he was, I found him to be quite amusing. And of course, Deadpool. If I go with a Marvel character, Deadpool is my absolute favorite. And I mean, nobody could be Deadpool but Ryan Reynolds, in my opinion. I just don't think anybody else could pull it off the same way. And so, but I don't know. I know there's that contrast in what I'm saying right now, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah, no, I feel you. A lot of people, they got their opinions on the chat room. So this is great. This is a great conversational piece. Continuing to talk about this real quick, the last thing I wanted to hit upon is the fact that DC is now dropping something called DC Fandome, and basically it's going to be like their own, what's it called? A convention, their own virtual convention. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I know Marvel's starting to do a lot more things. Like they just opened up a channel here on Twitch. They want to give back more to people. They're trying to focus on fans, including cosplay and fan art. I think they see the value in having these conventions where the fans put so much money and so much into this, right?
Yeah, I think it's all positive, and I imagine, compared to say like doing an actual convention in a physical building, and the costs involved in putting together a convention like that are pretty high because you've got to rent the space out, you got to advertise, you've got to pay for the talent to be there, and you got to pay for all their accommodations and anybody else they want to bring with them, and there's a lot of expenses involved in that. But when you can just get people to commit to going in front of a Zoom screen, that's a lot easier. So they can probably get the same amount of kind of return or profit, based on just getting people to subscribe to that channel or whatever. So, ladies and gentlemen, my buddy, one of our like super #1 Power Ranger fans, we call him Tom Ranger. This is my buddy Tom Turner. He jumped in on the show just to say hello. So I know you guys are always talking to him all the time on Twitch. So Tom, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, long time no see. How's it going?
Well, it was pretty good. Oh, I think we got
lower
the volume on that?
No, Tom, lower your volume. You came in super high. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, so what? Oh, I see you got the Corona beard going, huh? Is it the not leaving the house beard?
Hang on a minute. Am I still too loud?
No, you're okay. You're okay.
You're better now, yeah.
Okay, good. No, I grow a beard every 2 months and then I shave it off and start over. It's how I maintain it.
Oh, okay. That's funny, man. Well, good to see you, man. So, how's everything going over there in Canada? You good?
Yeah, things are good. I'm just going back to work last couple of weeks, so been getting back to basics.
Oh, so you're starting to get back out in the world again and stuff.
Nice.
So that's good. Okay, cool, man. So, Tom, we just thought, what the heck? I've known Tom, when did I first meet you? 2009? Something like that?
2011, I think.
Oh, was it? Okay, cool. I thought it was longer.
He added another 20 years.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I've known Tom for a long time, and he's been to multiple conventions with me and hung out with all of us. He's friends literally with. I mean, there's any Power Ranger that's done any of the Comic-Con circuit at all knows this dude right here. So we always appreciate him supporting us and hanging out. And every week he's been on the Twitch feed with us, hanging out and enjoying it and throwing his 2 cents in. And we figured, what the heck, like since we know him so well and he's always supporting us all the time. We figured, let's put a face to the name for everybody else that doesn't know Tom Ranger or Tom Turner. So
Tom, really quickly, man, I have a question for you. You've been downloading obviously the audio version too, right? You're a fan on the podcast on iTunes. Yeah, man, that's cool. And he's obviously part of our Patreon as well on patreon.com/fantastic duo. If you guys want to be a part of that, I'm gonna just drop it like it's hot, man. You get prizes, contests.
Yeah, well, that's what actually to Alex's point there. What we want to start doing actually is, right now we're doing prizes where we do the prizes once a week or once a show. We're giving away a prize, but we're going to scale that back and start doing it once a month for our subscribers, which gives more subscribers a chance to get on before we start, giving away these prizes. But the thing that we'd like to do is do what we're doing with Tom right here, where you guys see Tom, where we want to actually have you jump in and come be like a little bit of a co-host with us on the show for a few minutes and just hang out with us and be part of the action. So if that's something that interests you as well, where you can actually be part of the show with us, then you should definitely sign up for all of this and then when we pick our winners once a month, they're going to get a prize, and not only get the prize, but we're also going to give them a call and have them jump in on the show with us as well too. So going back to what we were talking about, Tom, I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to let you go. So are you DC or Marvel, baby?
It's tough. It depends on the category. If it's movies, Marvel. If it's comics, Marvel. If it's TV, DC.
Okay, cool. Right. So he's, and I know that Tom is a Smallville fan because I was a Smallville fan, and that was actually what brought us together because you were wearing that Smallville jacket, that maroon one with the Kal-El logo on it, which I thought was hella cool. I was like, yo, dude, that's tight. I want to rock that. So I remember actually wearing that jacket, and that was how we first met. So that was pretty cool. And ever since then, we've been friends. So that's cool. So you're more of like a TV DC, but the movies don't do it for you at all?
It depends. I like the first 2 Christopher Reeve movies.
Those. Well, that's cool. But I'm talking about the newer ones, the ones that everybody's more used to now.
Yeah, some of them are good, but I feel like most of them not so much. But like Shazam was great, Wonder Woman was great, but other than that, they've lately not so good.
Yeah, I mean, I dug Suicide Squad. That was cool. And for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe nobody else would agree with me, but I did like Man of Steel. And I didn't necessarily care that much for Batman versus Superman as much, but I did like Ben Affleck's character in the Batman versus Superman. I feel like he did pretty good. But Justice League, I did not like Steppenwolf.
Oh no,
I didn't find it a believable, character for whatever reason. Just he looked too animated and just. I don't know, you know what I mean? I couldn't get behind him as the force of evil that warranted, the Justice League even coming together, So I liked Doomsday better, than in Batman versus Superman than I liked Steppenwolf,
So now that we're talking about the movies, what do you guys think about Robert Pattinson as Batman for this next upcoming film and using the Charger, right? Is it the Charger as the Batmobile now?
Yeah,
it looked like the Charger.
It's like, if you're going to be, if you're this billionaire who's got this huge corporation behind you with all this R&D that can create all this crazy cool equipment, and then you're driving a Charger as your Batmobile, it just doesn't ring true for me for whatever reason, I mean, are they doing an origin story again with him?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Are they starting that over again? It's like, I don't understand why they do that. You know what I mean? Like, why do they need to keep telling that story to get everybody happy with having a new
Right.
Batman character in there.
You can only watch his parents get shot so many times.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Oh, you can only watch Bruce Wayne's parents get shot so many times.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. You know, I don't know. It's a little frustrating to me. I don't think that I liked it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna pass like judgment straight away, but I don't know that I'm gonna like it. I don't think that I'm going to.
It does look
like it that much.
It does look like the Green Hornet car. Remember that? That's funny. No.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was like a Ford Mustang or something like that.
Yeah.
It looks like a Mustang to me more than a Batmobile, you know. But the one that Snyder did though, the one that Ben Affleck one, that was probably my favorite, even more than the Tumblr from.
Oh my God, yeah,
ones, for sure. I just think it's pretty sweet, but it is what it is. I mean, you know, people are going to watch it anyway just to see if they like it or not. So,
Tom, what do you think about Batwoman and everything that happened in that show with Ruby Rose bouncing off? Are you still there, Mr. Tom? Did you hear us?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, cool. What do you think about the whole situation with Ruby Rose leaving the show?
That's kind of interesting. I guess they'll write her off screen. I hope she at least comes back for like the first episode so they can do a proper send off. But it sounds like they're just replacing her character entirely.
Sorry, fill me in. What's going on? I missed this. What's happening?
In the show Batwoman on DC on the CW.
On CW, okay.
Yeah, Ruby Rose is the main. You know, she's Batwoman, and she just dropped the role and left the show.
Oh, okay, right. I see. I haven't seen that. I didn't even know there was a Batwoman show. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Yeah. So there's no explanation. This girl just up and quit, huh?
Yeah. Supposedly there was. I mean, so many. You know, there's stories all the time about stuff happening backstage. You know. And it wasn't like they could just dub her and right. Put a body double like we did back in the day in Power Rangers.
Well, don't want to speculate for sure, man. But so Tom, tell everybody where they can reach you, buddy. Where can they if they want to follow you? If you guys want to follow Tom, and he's always got something brewing. So just tell everybody where they can follow you, bud.
Yeah, most handles it's at Thomas Tom Turner. I'm mostly active just on my Instagram story lately. So
at Thomas Tom Turner.
Yeah,
that's a
wow, that's
a
tongue twister. Man. Yeah, man.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, it's unique for sure. So, at Thomas Tom Turner, guys. So, but we appreciate you jumping on with us.
Yeah, thanks,
bud.
man.
Thank you for
having me.
And hope we'll have you back again for sure, man. You know me, man. We always hang out. Okay, cool. Take care, brother.
See ya.
Later, brother.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Tom. And what we'd like to do is we would like to try to get, you as the fans to get involved with the show as well too. So that when we do have a winner and we've also got a guest on here, we can, you can be part of the action as well. So I think that's a nice thing that we like to try to do, and we're going to start doing that from now on. So once a month we'll pick a winner and we'll bring them on the show with us.
Yeah, that was fun, man. That was really cool to have them on and finally get to meet them for the first time. Because I've never.
Yeah. Put them on the spot and then ask them, which one do you like better?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Who do you like better, Rocky or Jason?
Oh my God, that's so funny. Let's not pin them on that one. So
yeah, right.
Really quickly, guys, just want to throw this your way once again, that you can download the podcast on any of your podcast applications that you like to listen to.
Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram for all that stuff. But you can jump in and join us on Patreon, or you can subscribe to Twitch as well pretty soon as well. I think we have to be on Twitch for a month before you can make that happen. But
yeah, so we should be. We're going to be throwing once we hit affiliate, man. We want to throw a little like affiliate party here with Steve and myself and whoever else wants to join us. It'll be fun. But affiliate will allow us to continue to make the show grow by having subscribers through the show. So either you join through Patreon or you subscribe here on Twitch. I think Twitch would be the better way, because you guys will be able to get some of the same perks that you get on Patreon. it's the same trade-off because it's the same amount of money. Sub and Patreon is just about the same. But we want to thank everybody who goes through Patreon as well. But yeah, if you guys could be so kind, and I want to just remind you of this, that if you do listen to us using the Apple Podcast app, give us 5 stars, man. Give us a 5-star rating and drop drop some love in there. Tell us how good we do. You know?
Yes, please praise us.
Yeah, that would be cool. You know. But no, official Candace, there will be no trivia today because I'm just gonna win. So, because I have the answers in front of me.
Oh, right. But, yeah. No, the trivia thing only works when we have a guest. It's no fun just to sit there and quiz me on it, you know?
Yeah.
But one thing though, speaking of games, we're going to start doing, you're going to use our little platform here to start playing some games as well. Cause we're in the Twitchverse now, and, people like to just come to sit on Twitch sometimes and watch people game. So Alex is going to start gaming for us. What games are you going to do?
Yeah, guys. So one of the things that we want to do here on the show is every single Friday we want to do a community gaming night, where you guys can join us or myself, whoever's here, and we're basically going to be playing from Call of Duty to whatever games out is hot or you guys suggest. We'll just throw it on here. Just have a good time.
I will stress though that a lot of times I won't be on this. You know what I mean? And but I think it would be cool for every once in a while, though, Alex, is if we could figure out a way where you and I could play together, like either as a team or or against each other. That would be cool. I know one time I don't know if you ever heard of the Completionist, the guy who did. Okay. So I went on his show, on the Super Beard Bros, show with the Completionist. Wow. And, it was myself and Jason Font, as a matter of fact. And we went on their show and we actually played the Sega Genesis version, the 1995 version of Power Rangers. Of course, I played myself, and we battled each other to play that game and finish it all the way to the end, and we put the whole thing up on YouTube. So if you guys ever want to see it, go check it out. Just look up, Red Ranger on the Completionist or whatever, or Steve Cardenas on the Completionist if you want to check that out. I'm sure that, this was, a few years ago, but it definitely got a lot of views. It's a lot of fun. So if you get the chance, check that out. That was fun. But we should do something like that, Alex, don't you think?
I'm 100%.
See if we can figure out a way where you and I could battle each other Mortal Kombat style or whatever, Ranger, somehow do the Power Ranger one that's on the app on your phone. Which one is that one?
Something of the Grid, Battle for the Grid.
Right. If we could get that, and battle each other in that one, that would be pretty cool.
Hey, man, it's all possible. We can do anything.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, when you can get that set up, I'll jump in and we'll do a game night like that.
That'd be great.
But for the nights that I'm not here, if you guys want to watch Alex just get knocked around on Fortnite or whatever, then you can certainly feel free to jump in on that.
Yeah, guys, that's going to be happening starting this Friday night at in between 9 and 10 p.m. around there, because we want to.
So this Friday night, that means tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, because I want to give.
Okay. We're starting it that soon. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I figured just go on one day tomorrow, throw some Call of Duty on here, some Warzone, and see if I can survive 100.
What's your favorite game that you like to play? What's your go-to game?
Right now, I'm really hot on this Warzone thing with Call of Duty Warzone. Yeah, it's like a battle royale, so you got to survive.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but I also have
it's very much like Fortnite in that sense.
100%. Yeah. So I also have the PlayStation VR. So there's some virtual reality games that we can play as well. Like there's a couple things that we can throw on here for everyone. And you know what? Once in a while, we can have past guests come back onto here and maybe do a community game night with us.
Yeah, we'll work on doing that too. So throw out some ideas, guys, what you guys would like to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Old Alexis Cardoza jump in and play, and hey, whatever. It might be something that he's never even played before.
Correct.
That could be fun as well too.
Rather
than watch him play a game that he's good at, sometimes it'd be cool to see him in a game where he fumbles everything up. So
I would love that.
That's more entertaining.
I see no problem with that.
Entertaining.
Yeah, so that's cool. You know what? And really quickly, guys, it was just dropped earlier today, and I want to reiterate it here. But our boy here, Steve Cardenas, is going to be on the Morphin Network next Friday, June 26th, okay, at 7 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be live with them. Tell us a little bit what you're going to be doing here.
Well, I mean, essentially, I mean, it's just going to be an interview. You know what I mean? Like, but the Morphin Network is a fan based, podcast, so to speak, and they're. I'm going to be just, basically, interviewing with them, telling my story, answering their questions, whatever they might be, their fan questions and whatnot. So not dissimilar to what we're doing here, I would imagine, but it's all Power Ranger related though, and not necessarily talking about other genres or aspects.
Nice. And once again,
so that's happening next
Friday night at 7 p.m. on the Morphin Network. So if you guys are not following them, make sure you do so that you're able to check out what Steve's going to be talking about, what he's going to get grilled on out there. Another thing I wanted to talk about is that you will be out this weekend, correct?
Yeah, I'm starting to get back out in the world a little bit, guys. We're doing it carefully. We're being safe, and I'm not going very far away. I'm going to Oklahoma City. I'm going to go to Oklahoma City and Tulsa in a very small gathering at a couple of comic book stores there Friday and Saturday this weekend. Excuse me, not Friday, Saturday, but Saturday and Sunday. Saturday day, you can catch me in Tulsa. Not Tulsa. You can catch me in Oklahoma City, and then Sunday I'll be in Tulsa. So you can go to my Instagram and look. I'm going to post up later tonight about the different locations that I'll be at. But, we're going to keep our gloved up. We'll put the mask on. We'll say hi to the fans a little bit. And you just got to get back out to those meet and greets and stuff. So, but on a small scale, we're not going to go crazy with it. So if you happen to be in the Oklahoma City area and you want to come by and say hi, you can find out the information on my Instagram. So I'll be out there this weekend. But thanks for bringing that up because I almost forgot.
No, for sure. I mean, this is what I'm here for. Cool. And as we're kind of winding the show down here.
Already? No, we still have 15 more minutes.
Oh yeah, we still have 15 minutes. That's what I'm saying. But you see yourself coming up now. I see the Florida ones. The Florida cons are starting to pop up. Are you looking to maybe get involved in going out there? Like, do you in your mind? Do you feel like are we ready for this?
Well, I think people are holding off a little bit longer. There was one that I was going to do in July in Florida, but all the protesting started happening and people were still a little bit leery about the coronavirus. So we've pushed it off a little bit. Quite honestly, guys, I don't really foresee myself doing too many appearances this year, just at all, just for this reason. I think the climate is going to be weird because everybody's a little sketchy. We're starting to put a toe back in the water a little bit, but it's coming on the heels of like we just got over this, and then all of a sudden the protesting started a little bit, which might keep people away as well too if they're not out protesting. But they're not necessarily going to be coming out to go meet fans and stuff. They're going out there and fighting for the justice in a different way, which is fine and that's cool. But I think people are also probably a little worried about how it's going to hit when the fall comes back around again. Is it going to be, like it is with the flu, where you get it in the winter and you get it one time in the fall, So I think people are going to wait and see with that. And if it seems to have chilled out a little bit as it's starting to die down, if it doesn't get a huge influx again, in the later fall months, then maybe at that point we can finally start saying we can start opening up and socializing again, in which case we'll get back into the full swing of it. But
yeah, and like they're saying
there's too much uncertainty.
Well, and the numbers are spiking all over again. Not to kind of like beat a dead horse here every time we get on the podcast, but it's what's happening now is the climate of what's happening today. So, this is crazy. Like there's a lot of states that are reclosing now because they're getting over 5,000 cases a day, or something like that. It's just insane, and we want to remain as healthy and as responsible as possible. Now, the Pat David here on the real Pat David, actually here on the chat, is gonna actually throw our show towards the Saratoga, New York Comic-Con, and try to let them know that this is the place to be, and hopefully get the Fantastic Duo show out there someday.
Right.
You know,
Right,
which is
okay.
another thing that Steve and I have spoken about in the past is perhaps once everything starts picking up speed again, is perhaps doing live shows with you guys
Yeah, do
in,
live
in,
shows
in
with the
location.
fans on
Yeah.
location. Yeah, that'll definitely be fun and something that we'll definitely explore once everything opens back up again, for sure. But
And I got to attest to this. I follow a lot of other podcasters that started off just like we did, and they rent out small places or have small locations where they have fans come in and they have guests come part of like special guests. They don't even name them, and
Right.
it just gets packed. And I think it's a
they
cool
do
way
like
to
a meet and
interact.
greet kind of thing,
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
live show like that.
it's
yeah.
pretty dope. So like this podcast, this show actually is expanding and it's growing every single time we're on, and it's all because of you guys. Let's talk a little bit about what next week is going to happen. So obviously we're going to have our show on Tuesday, but next Thursday, guys, and I want to mention this right now, we are going to have Boom Comics' own Ryan Parrott on the show. Okay, he wrote.
Tell everybody who that is. Yeah.
So Ryan Parrott is one of the writers of the Go-Go Power Ranger series, which just finalized. That's the one that I was holding up with the gold foil. That one just finalized with episode number 32, and they brought in Aisha, Adam, and Rocky into the universe of Go-Go Power Rangers. And
Right,
obviously
they're finally now starting to introduce our characters. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this is that, he's going to be here with us, and we're going to be able to pick his brain on that incredible journey where he started and where he's going to now.
Yeah, so if you guys can think of some questions that you want to ask him, I will say this, knowing because I have a relationship with Boom and I'm good friends with the people over there. Sometimes there's things they can't reveal because they don't want to give away storylines. So you feel free to ask your questions, but we might not be able to get them all answered. But we're going to try to give you as much information that we can to sell the sizzle of this whole thing, and then until the steak actually comes out,
Oh,
so
that's a good one. I never thought about
sell
it that
the
way.
sizzle. Yeah, so we'll sell
Wow.
the sizzle and then until the steak gets there. But I'm very excited about the direction that Boom is going now. Obviously, with Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, I think it's the right thing to do because it's the natural progression of the way that the show went. So it's time to kind of put that whole thing in there as well too. And obviously with I think the stuff that's happening in peace conference and what really happened with the peace conference when Jason, Zach, and Trini
The
actually
Omega
went away.
Rangers.
Yeah, that led into the Omega Rangers and stuff like that. So Boom's got a brilliant mind. You know what I mean? Like, I was actually doing a panel with Boom earlier. And
Ooh, tell us.
No. I can't tell everything, but I said one of the things that we're talking about that Boom does is they are really taking those side stories that really weren't able to be touched on, or just because there wasn't enough time or whatever, or they didn't have the foresight to actually think that people would watch these reruns over and over again to start asking questions about, well, what about with this person? And how about what happened with this, and so on and so forth. They go off and send storylines out on these different tangents and things like that, much like Rogue One and the Star Wars story, in the Star Wars saga. When they made one reference to this, event that happened in Star Wars Episode 4, and then they end up telling the whole story of what actually happened and how that got to there. So these little this whole universe is like spider webbing out, and we're very excited about that. So there's a lot of really cool things coming up, and we'll probably touch more on that next week when we have him on. So definitely don't miss out on that one.
Oh my God, I can't wait! And listen, I've been a fan of the whole Boom series since it first came out. Like, I try to keep up with it. They also did the crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know if you've heard about that one, Steve. And
yeah.
I think
we talked about that at New York Comic Con when we did the big panel at New York Comic Con last year.
Because I have the green screen, it's gonna mess it up. But
Oh, yeah. In case you see this half-floating head that's got Alex's face in front of it, that is a Green Ranger. And, I think we're going to do a sneak peek of what some of these, some really cool things that are going to come out, especially with, like, a Green Ranger. So, get ready for that. If you guys have not started getting into the Boom comic series yet, it's an amazing series. You know what I mean? It's that darker, edgier, but still in the same thread and fun of Power Rangers and all the great villains, and the artists are amazing. The artwork, the storylines are great. So it's basically a grown-up version of Power Rangers. It is. Yeah, so if you want the chance.
And I would like to remind everyone that Boom is like, it's picking up steam, just like this podcast, by the way. But because they are also getting a Netflix deal. They haven't really talked about what they're going to be putting on Netflix, but they last article I read was that they just signed a deal with Netflix. So get ready for that. I mean, maybe an animated series from one of their comic books. I don't know. You never know. Maybe they'll bring Power Rangers into an animated series. I don't know. It'll be great, though.
But it will be cool to see what they do with it. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, man, this is I love being on here because time just passes by. We told stories. We talked to Tom. Like, it's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
we narrowed things down, and you know, we spoke a lot about what's hot right now. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that as the show is now really growing, we would like to like stay on top of absolutely everything that's happening in that world outside of us here. And so like, if you guys have any questions next Tuesday, I think that I presented this to Steve. I think we should, if you guys have any questions for us or about anything that Steve is doing, you know, and ask Steve anything type of deal, make sure you're here.
If you want to ask me anything,
well, yeah, not anything,
knowledge about it, but I don't know, whatever. If it's pop culture related, I give it a shot. But
yeah,
you know, if you try to ask me what the Pythagorean theorem is, I'm not going to be able to answer.
We could ask him, does he like chocolate milk, strawberry milk, or just plain old milk? You know, something simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that simple either. You know, but you know, but yeah, for sure. Like, definitely feel free if you guys have questions, you know, that are within the thread of our show and you want to ask them, by all means, please do.
And also, don't forget that here in the next coming up weeks, when you once we become an affiliate here on Twitch and you guys subscribe, you will be able to get the same perks that a Patreon gets. So if you also are on Patreon, we got a lot of stuff coming in. Jason Fawn is sending me some stuff. All these past guests,
that's right.
So we have mega prizes that we're going to be giving away.
Mega prizes that we're going to do, like in the next couple of weeks. We'll do giveaways, like one from Austin coming up. We got one from Jason Font, one from Brad Hawkins that we still have yet to give away. So we shall be, making announcements and winners on those as well here in the next couple weeks. And then after that, like I said, we'll be switching it to a once a week winner where we'll bring them in, or not once a week, but once a month winner, and we'll bring them on the show with us as well to be a guest host for, you know, a bit of time.
Yeah, it'll be dope. And so, ladies and gentlemen, man, I mean, I have fun here. I don't know about you, Steve. Did you have a good time today?
All right.
You got anything planned for this weekend?
Well, other than my appearance that I'm doing, which is going to be a lot involved because it's a big production to do traveling now these days. So
yeah,
all that stuff. So yeah, but it'll be nice to get out of the house. I'll put it that way.
Nice, man. I'm glad that you're finally getting yourself back out there, because I know how hard this could be for anyone who's in your position right now. So yeah, guys. So that's pretty much basically it for today. And you know, once again, Tom, thank you for coming on. You know, today's episode was pretty much like a chill, laid back, let's just go out there and have fun with the people that watch us type of deal. Steve, let them know where they can find you. You know.
Well, I mean, naturally, of course, the Fantastic Duo Show. You follow us. We're going to be posting up on that. Steve Cardenas, PR. Definitely start following us and subscribing on Twitch when that becomes available. Patreon, Twitter's all Steve Cardenas, PR. So you jump on that. Same thing. Follow Alex as well.
Yeah, you guys could follow me at Alexis Cardoza. That's pretty much my IG, and obviously here the Fantastic Duo Show account where, you know, everything Fantastic Duo goes down. Once again, guys, I want to thank everyone for listening and watching. And remember that you can support what we do by sharing, subscribing, and leaving a review on iTunes. You know. That's always the best way for this podcast to continue going up on the charts in iTunes. Like Steve just said, you could become a Patreon by going to patreon.com/fantasticduo. And you could enter to win a chance to get some sweet giveaways, man.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
We got it, guys. So that all being said, may the power protect you, and thanks for stay safe out there for another week. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. All right.
Later, guys. Be easy.